A little spillage. Peace, 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 family. Yes, indeed. Hope y'all doing well in the life. We here, January 27th, 2026, on a Saturday. Please let me know if y'all can hear me okay, if the sound's all right, if the picture's all right. We don't want to have no complications, no issues. Also, if you feel inclined, drop the name of the city, the country, what area you chiming in from. We connecting. It's a connection thing. All right. I'm getting can't see the name. 444 said the sound is a little off, but Sabrina said loud and clear. All right, well, maybe it's a connection thing, but let me know if we good to go. Midlands, West Midlands, UK in the building. Shouts out to the UK. Shouts out to Salt Lake City. OKC in the building. All right. LA in the building. New Orleans in the building. Let's go. Let's go. Well, I ain't going to spend too long doing all the introductions. I just want to make sure the sound's all right because we go really get into this video. So if anyone else might have the ability to confirm if the audio's okay, we're not having no sound issues, no problems, we can get straight into this. I'll say it's working. All right, perfect. So I did a video a few days ago explaining about chakras and bringing a dimension to chakras, bringing oh, okay, hold on one second. Let me answer this question. I did see the question earlier, and y'all stars, y'all matter. Y'all matter. All right, yo, Q. My question is, are we talking about Ayin? All right. For those of you who may not know who Ayin is, I'll give you the exact Hebrew meaning, and then I'll tell you if that could be connected or not. All right, so in Hebrew, ayin, I might be pronouncing it wrong, translates literally to eye, okay? But it also doesn't just mean a word, it also symbolizes an action. So this symbol, and this is what people often forget with languages that encompass symbols. With symbols, now with the English language, there's a symbol within the word. It's usually another word hidden within the word. And that word hidden within the word is the symbol. But nevertheless, Ayyin translates in Hebrew as I. All right. And it also is an action, meaning to see. All right. It also means to bring forward, to bring forth, or to spring forward, or to spring forth. All right. Now, there's a lot more to this, but uh, will I be incorporating AN in this conversation? Possibly. 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 Okay. So, a few days ago, I did a video explaining about chakras and how chakras are associated to what we would consider to be physical constructs. When you think of the idea of a chakra, this is more of a metaphysical term to you. This is more of a a intangible idea that never was associated to something physical. But I'm making sure that you all understand Everything that you perceive to be spiritual has manifested a physical form. So, as above, so below. As in spirit is so in physical. Therefore, physical can really just be an extension of spirit. Earth can really just be an extension of heaven. Earth can be a more sensational senses. This is going to be used in today's video. Senses. It can be a more sensational experience. You hear that word in there? Sensational. Okay, remember, I just said in the English language, there's words hidden within words. Sensational. What other word do we use in the English language that may be spelled different? But what other word do we use? It's a smaller word. Don't think too complex on it. Sensational. What other word do you hear in that? Sensational. Sensational. Okay. You see it. Sin. Now keep in mind, sin spelled CYN also symbolizes the moon, meaning in heaven, they don't connect to a celestial system known as the moon. You with me? All right. Heaven may be without moon or sin. Womb is connected to the moon. So you can't bear life in the heavens. Maybe earth is where you bear life, and bearing life is sin. I know. It's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. We're going to take our time today. Hopefully, I don't lose any of you. Hopefully, you're here for the roller coaster. All right? Life is full of waves. Now, I've explained how. Thank you so much, One Universe, for the give and receive, family. Thank you for staying balanced in the life. I really, really appreciate it. It's hard times, so anything helps. Everything helps. Even a like, even a hype, especially a donation. Thank you so much for that. In my previous video, I explained, and for those of you who may not have the ability to spend 2 hours listening to a previous video, I don't mind paraphrasing so you can be on the same page for today's video. I explained how the chakras are associated to physical organs. And not only are the chakras, many spheres, SPHERE, spheres, spheres of influence. All right. This is basically a term we use in psychology, but there are different things in your life that become spheres of influence. So your chakras become spheres of influence, and each one has its own tone, has its own key, has its own pitch, has its own purpose, has its own role of influence. All right. So I explained how the chakras are connected to physical organs, and I'm going to run it down real fast, and then we're going to get to today's video. What you consider to be the crown chakra is connected to the largest organ on the body. That is connected to your skin. Proof of this written in the life everywhere. But one thing you can always remember is what we would consider cultural phrases. Okay? So a cultural phrase, all right? Protect your crown. Don't just let anyone into your crown. Well, in that term, especially in a melanated household, symbolizes your hair. All right? And your hair is an extension of your skin. We're literally leaving the clues right there. Crown, hair, skin, because your crown chakra is associated to your skin. And if there is a celestial system, a sun, that can do something to this organ, darken it, uh, we'll just say there. All right. And as you darken something, you're storing something in it. I want you to kind of think of it as a ghost or a container is clear. And as you place more things in it, it starts to become darkened. Okay? So as you place more things in an organ, what could that be? Cosmic rays, UV rays. But as this organ is absorbing these rays, it darkens the vessel who is absorbing these rays. And if you know what to do with those rays, some people have said that has produced rhythm. Some people have said that produced uh, uh, certain talents, athletic abilities. Just saying. This is not something we've we've said. This is something that they've projected. Anyway, moving forward. So your skin is your crown chakra. All right. The next chakra is considered your third eye, is what they would categorize it as, but it's really associated to your brain, in essence. Now, the brain can be complicated, and the brain has parts itself, which is what we're going to get into today's video as well. But just to make it as simple as possible, your third eye is associated to your brain. All right. The next one is your throat chakra, and it's associated to this whole system. You get a thorax, you get a trachea, and it can connect to the diaphragm. There's several parts kind of associated to this system. All right. But I want you to attach a physical idea to it. Don't think of it as pseudo. Don't think of it as metaphysical. No, there's a physical connection. So now when you read about a chakra and they're talking about the throat chakra, no, we're literally talking about the physical throat. When we're talking about the heart chakra, we're talking about the physical heart. When we're talking about the solar plex, we're talking about literally your stomach. All right? This is not your guts. This is not the same thing. Your stomach and your guts are not necessarily the same construct in an ancient or the ancient people's minds. They consider your intestines kind of more part of your gut, and that's your sacral chakra. But they also attach, in essence, the womb to that same area. But nevertheless, solar plex, all right? Solar plex. It's associated to the stomach and the lungs, all right? Parts. Get how you breathe. When you breathe in, your stomach expands. You breathe out, it's all connected, all right? So this is a power system. You get people to consume, an herb that could potentially toxify one's lungs. It's going to affect one's solar plex. Your solar plex is your power source, your core. Get it? So how could you affect a core? You can pollute a core. You get it. All right. Sacral chakra, womb, guts, intestines. All right. Um, um, Kidneys. All right. And then you have your physical, the root chakra, which would be your reproductive systems. Uranus. All right. Uranus. 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 Uranus connects to this physical system. Once you then say, oh, wow, wait, hold on. So Uranus connects to my root chakra. Saturn connects to my sacral chakra. Jupiter connects to my solar chakra. Mars, a deserted planet, a planet that used to hold life until something happened. Some type of devastation stripped the atmosphere. And we know it's devastation because right next to Mars, there is devastation. you call that an asteroid belt. Now, that, of course, is broken pieces of a large system. It's not far fetched to think that system could be a planet. And something happened on that planet, and that planet was destroyed. And in that, it destroyed an atmosphere of another planet or its neighboring planet. And its neighboring planet then had to relocate. And there was a lot to this. But I want you to understand the heart remembers all this. The heart has stored all of this. The heart has kept all of this information. This is why there is an instinctual desire to connect to Martians, to connect to Mars. Why are the first people you call aliens Martians? Do you get what I'm saying? These are heart expressions. Why would a director, why would a writer, why would a producer choose to use this verbiage? Because it weighs in on the heart. So just know there's a lot of emotional resonance, generational imprints that still connect to Mars. And this happens because we have yet to gain the remembrance of what has happened to us or what has happened to that planet. All right. Mars. All right. Heart chakra. All right. Earth. Throat chakra. That's why you speak up. This is why it listens. You're on a planet that has an ear. Earth. EARTH. All right. You're on a planet that has a heart to give to care. You're on a planet that has a heart to care. Earth. Switch up the letters, you get heart. All right. Then you get Venus, which symbolizes the third eye. And if you ever pay attention to the third eye often symbolizes Lucifer, and Lucifer often symbolizes a shining one, a seraphim in a sense, you know, the illuminated one, the luminous one, Lucifer, you know, the Lucy, the illuminated one, all right? But this would be the third eye. Venus is highly associated to what you would consider to be um, how you use your imagination. Unfortunately, a lot of these chakras have been imbalanced and have been, um, I won't say polluted, but overloaded. And sometimes you can overload a body with too much of the same thing. So, like, for example, if Venus symbolizes love, and on this planet we're attaching love to sex, and on this planet sex is attached to pornography, well, you're kind of overloading or projecting so much pornography to the Venetian frequency or the Venus planet or third eye. You know, I hope you get the concept. But this video isn't about that. I'm just trying to get to where we're going. So, very important to understand the organs, chakras, planetary system chakras, Mercury, which is often shown with a gown. And this is important because you have to pay attention to what you place on your crown. A lot of people wear polyester. A lot of people wear things that are not breathable. So therefore, imagine if you smothered, if you covered your third eye. What if I mean your crown, and your third eye, in essence, is feeding itself or fueling itself based on one's crown. So I want you to kind of think of it like a hierarchy. In medieval times, you get what you consider to be kings and queens. So you get royalty. That's the crown. But then you get what you call the mage or the sage or the magician or the witch or a wizard. You know, in essence, you get this magician. All right. Now you would think Hermes or Mercury would symbolize the magician. Well, in essence, it's a keeper of knowledge because things have been twisted. But the mage or the keeper of the hidden has always been a feminine presence. This is why Venus often symbolizes the hidden witch, or, or in essence, a, a frequency that is driving humanity's direction, which way humanity goes. Venus has a large, large presence in which direction humanity goes. So, now we're going to get into the next part of this video. Make sure you hit that like button. $ Q Reaves if you're feeling generous. So today, we're going to start breaking down the different bodies of you. All right? The different bodies of you. If you had to guess in a system of 1 through 9, how many bodies you have? How many do you think you have? And I'll give you a hint. Physical body, kind of encompasses it all. So we don't count the physical body. The physical body technically would be like the 10th, 11th, 15th, 30th. I don't even know how they expand it, but it would be like the very last body to encompass it all. So don't even consider the physical body. But if we're talking about, like how they say you have a spiritual body, all right. So how many bodies can you have if you're going 1 through 9? What would you say your body count is? 1 through 9. You know how they always use that term. All right. So Al to Vampy said 9 bodies. All right. Which on me is said 3 bodies. Dia said 3 bodies. But then Al to Vampy said, hold on, wait. I don't know if I trust the gut. I got to do it got to do with the chakras bodies? No. Mm-mm. Nah, we don't call the chakras a mental body. Nah, I don't have a TikTok, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm getting all this stuff organized where I can start clipping my videos. I'm about to do a whole podcast looking situation so we can really get into this stuff. I'm also gonna start playing some of my old videos and pulling up evidence and breaking down more complexity to those videos. But no TikTok yet. Thank you for asking. Al Chuvampy says 7 bodies. Mrs. Ocean's Love said mental body, emotional body, etc. Sure. So we just named 2. We just named 2. Forever spiritual body. I guess that's another one. 3. So we just named 3 bodies. We named emotional body. We named emotional body. I mean, we named emotional body, mental body, spiritual body. Y'all got any other ones? Which Ami named another one. Astral body. I like it. All right. So we got 4. We got mental body. We got spiritual body. We got emotional body. We got astral body. Y'all smart. All right. Here we go. Master Jax. Name the 5th one. All right. Etherical body. Y'all clean. Y'all clean. All right. Remember, Didi, physical body encompasses it all. So we don't even count the physical body. We're trying to reach even harder in this remembrance, in this mage or maze of information. All right. So we got the mental body, we got the spiritual body, we got the emotional body, we got the astral body, we got the etherical body. Y'all clean. All right. Now, one person did ask, does Earth count? It does. It does. But it's not called Earth body. There is another word that is used to describe the Earth body. I know y'all can figure this out. I know y'all can. All right. All right. So let's see if we could do it, because this would be the 6th body. If we could figure out what the Earth body would be called. All right. I like where you're going, Al too vampy. I'll explain why it's not that in a second. I don't want to throw that name out there yet. But we're going to get there. All right, we're going to get there. All right. When they say they're looking at the movement of the blank blank bodies in the sky, What do they call that? Even like in the Bible, they talked about it. Pay attention to the boom boom bodies in the sky. And thank you, Mrs. O. Thank you. There you go. Dee Dee, you got it. 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 Now, Carl Scott, thank you so much for adding another verbiage to this. So not only could you call this your celestial body, you can also call this your planetary body. I like that. Because what if you embody Saturn? What if you embody Jupiter? What if you on a external level as an identity, not as a chakra? Get it? I'm talking about like you got people who walk around talking, I'm Satan. I'm Satan. You know, get what I'm saying? You got people who walk around who think they go save the day, superhero, Jupiter energy. So get it? You get the idea of embodying celestial or planetary identities. All right? No, no, no. This ain't platinum FUBU. I got a platinum FUBU jacket and jeans, but this ain't platinum FUBU. This is a brand called Ironheart. Ironheart. All right. So we just did 6. I thought I was gonna have to sit here and teach y'all this, but I see. This is the beautiful thing about remembrance. Once you really wake up to the idea that all the clues are around me, all of the answers are here, they've been here. I got to slow down and put the pieces together. That's when you start unlocking your divinity. That's when you start unlocking, that next level in this game. Master Jax, appreciate you, bro. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So look, all right. Now I'm trying to give you a okay. All right. Now, this so you can get a physical understanding of what I'm saying. All right. So we named 6: mental body, spiritual body, emotional body, astral body, etherical body, celestial or planetary body. What's what's next? What's next? I know we ain't at 6. That don't even seem right with how numbers work. It got to be either 7 bodies or 9 bodies, right? 7 or 9, they say those are the numbers of completion. So if we're really trying to reach the number of completion, it's either 7 bodies or 9 bodies, and we ain't at neither number. So let's see if we can get to the next step. All right? Mental body, spiritual body, emotional body, astral body. Now, your astral body can also be considered your Akashic body. All right. When we were kind of given other terms, your astral body and Akashic body is in the same field. All right. Etherical body, that also can be considered a sound body. But your etherical body, your celestial body. All right. Subliminal body. Ooh. Ooh. I like that. Subliminal body though falls into what we call the mental body, and I'll get there. I'll get there in a second. Your subliminal body falls under the subconscious, and your subconscious falls under the mental body. All right, aquatic body, not quite, not quite, not quite. Your aquatic body is a very interesting concept, though, because you do exist physically as an aquatic being for a certain amount of months. Yeah, that's that that taps into what I would consider to be the in this system. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right, birth body. I like that. It's a good answer. That's a good answer. It's a good answer. But your birth body houses all these things. Just because it was just born doesn't mean it lacks these things. To be realistically, your birth body is probably purer than this current body you're housing right now. But your birth body still kind of houses all of this. Your birth body would still fall under, I guess, the physical body. But we're here. Spiritual, emotional, Dia said spiritual, emotional, mental, astral, celestial, planetary, etherical. Not subliminal. It's not. Subliminal falls under mental body. And mental body, all right, our I give you a hint. Lunar body is close, but lunar body falls under celestial body because it's still a part of what we would consider the celestial. Um, let me give you the definition of celestial. All right, celestial focuses on individual, tangible, heavenly bodies. All right. So what celestial can connect to? Moons, comets, constellations, planets. You with me? All right? Moons, stars, all of that falls under celestial. Man, make me proud, Ashley. I'm sorry I said your real name, but make me proud. Yes, indeed. I'm sitting over here like a proud unk. You know, I got the unk fit on. Yes, the seventh body is the cosmic body. Ding, 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 ding. You did that. What they say? You did your big one? You did that. Cause they was trying to figure it out. Yes. Cosmic body. The cosmic body focuses on the scale of the entire cosmos, the universe within itself. So, kind of think of the universe as like, we'll get there, but the big dog. So, kind of think of it as like you have the ocean, that would be the universe. But then the cosmic aspect of the ocean would be its waves, would be its tectonic movement. So I'm going to explain. So cosmic focuses on, let's just say, almost the inner world of the universe. It's everything, really. All right. And it's more abstract, it's more energy focused. Sometimes we can categorize cosmic like cosmic radiation, cosmic waves. Ooh, could I be talking to myself through these cosmic waves? If you start learning your bodies, instead of stop counting these bodies that you done, you know what I'm saying, with, and realize these bodies get extensive, you can start actually talking to yourself on a cosmic level if you start acknowledging your bodies. Cosmic microwaves. All right? Just so you know, the word cosmos is a Greek word. The word is cosmos or cosmos, but with a K. And it means to order, to bring to harmony. Okay? So, what is the goal of your cosmic body? To bring order to one's chaotic nature. And it's because you're in a universe. Okay? Ninth body, universal body. Ninth body, universal body. Universal body is your chaos body. Please understand, this also connects to dimensions. Guess I ain't bring no chapstick. Guess I ain't bring no chapstick. Alright. Hydrate with the water. Alright. Your universal body is an expression of pure chaos. Chaos. I want you to think of it as this concept. If a tree in the woods fell and no one was around, does it make a sound? And the answer is no. Because if there is no consciousness to observe it, it almost ceased to physically exist. So now imagine this. You are a universe. And in this universe, you're knocking over trees. Kind of ahead of this human self. You know, you have your human self, but you have another version of yourself that's a little higher than you, that's a little more advanced than you, that's a little more expansive than you. And this version of you is ahead of you. And it's knocking over trees, in essence, clearing paths. But you haven't caught up to the tree falling yet. So you're doing your best to try to understand your chaos, get in alignment with your chaos, be on the path of your chaos. But there's a lot. There's a lot to one's existence. 9 bodies. There's a lot to one's existence. So it's important for you to realize what you would consider to be your universal self would in essence be your chaotic self. The universe is chaos, darkness. This is why a majority of the universe has ceased to be explored, discovered, mapped, etc., etc., etc. Because you have not organized all of your chaos yet. And I want you to kind of think of it as like, imagine your chaos as a puzzle that's been broken up into pieces, and little by little, life after life, incarnation after incarnation, you're putting more and more pieces of the puzzle together. Eventually, you're going to get the whole picture. You're going to understand everything there is to know about this universe that you've projected and or projected into. And then guess what? You crumble up the puzzle and you leave it for someone else to put together. Interesting, right? What? Damn. I could be offering the gift of a universe to a soul? Yeah, it's one of the best gifts you can offer. It's beautiful to be able to be in a universe, test it out, experience it, drive the car, make sure there's no issues or nothing, then hand the car over. Here you go. Now it's time for you to have your experience. But we forgot that. We lost that. This is all a part of making sure you don't live long enough to understand the bigger picture or puzzle. Make sure you hit that like button. $ Q Reaves if you're feeling generous. I'm just slow down and make sure I'm giving thanks. Kim, thank you so much for the give and receive, family. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for staying balanced in the life. Amanda, thank you so much for staying balanced in the life. And Corey, thank you. Thank you for staying balanced in life. I greatly appreciate it. I want y'all to understand that this information is not something like new. It's just something that needs to be unpacked. Information is like a zip file. It is up to you or your constellation, meaning group of you, your peers, those in the same formation, to unpack this file. And as we unpack this file, I want you to understand that you are up in your game in all of these bodies. You are solidifying what some would categorize as life after death or a eventful afterlife because you are informed. What happens when a human just for a moment steps into a cosmic body and they're not prepared for that? What happens when a soul steps into a universal body and is not prepared for that? Honestly, you can't. There's safeguards in place. You would never even just accidentally step into a universal body because guess what? A universe houses trillions of souls. And creation has safeguards. That's why a cat can't sleep with a dog. An elephant can't sleep with a horse. Creation has safeguards. And once you realize there's safeguards in place, you should be like, wow, well, maybe I should create a little bit more. It's not like there aren't things in place to make sure, my creation doesn't go too crazy, go too wild. I might not even be able to create what I think I can create. Cat, dog. So I'm just trying to help y'all along this journey. So hopefully we can help each other along the way. So you get what is categorized as a mental body, a spiritual body, an emotional body, an astral body, an etherical body, a celestial body, a cosmic body, and all seven of those bodies dwell in an infinite symbol or an infinity symbol known as the universe. You do understand this is a symbol of one, right? It's all looping back to the center. All right? Which you throwing out a lot of words. Meta body. Meta just means beyond the body. And you're tapping into some interesting concepts that I don't mind getting into, but I want to focus on today's live. But what I will say is, yes, there is something that goes beyond the body, as you have probably seen this common thread. All nine of these systems encompass the word body. So is there something that goes beyond body? Indeed, there is. Indeed, there is. And some would consider that to be a meta body, but to not answer your question, some would consider this to then tap into an inorganic form. Everything that I mentioned is all a part of your organic existence and feeds off of three core modalities: an electrical system, a magnetic system, and a organic or orgasmic system, orgon energy, electric energy, magnetic energy, and orgone energy. All right, all of these systems are feeding off of these systems. Orgone energy is irrelevant to inorganic life. Um, Electric energy is important, but it's not vital. They are building inorganic life that can consume biological organisms. So it'll eat your trash. You know, they're building systems where there's robots that will be in your home, and how they're being powered by eating your banana peels and then being able to convert the banana peels into energy. Very similar to how you do. The difference is they can take a genetically modified banana and have an abundant amount of energy. Well, if we continue feeding you a genetically modified organic organism banana, it's going to eventually unalive you, possibly, maybe, who knows, allegedly. Okay? Just so you understand. Their bodies are made to withstand things. The organic body is not meant to stand. So when we start talking about the meta body, we're talking about the inorganic body. And I have been down many rabbit holes and have even concluded the inorganic body came first. So you're really tapping into, stuff that can start making it difficult for you to stay here, and we don't want to do that. I've had situations where it's not cool. Now, you also mentioned what we would consider to be the karmic body, okay? And the karmic body falls under the spiritual body. And we'll get into that. But today's focus is just the mental body. I actually have a deeper breakdown on mental body. And then, of course, I'll go through each one. Hopefully, this type of topic gets clicked on. Um, I understand this type of information isn't for everybody, and I still have to keep the lights on. So, if this information doesn't get enough support, whether that's enough views or whatever that may be, I may have to shift to something else. People like me playing stuff from my phone and regression stories and fantastical stuff. So hopefully I can keep this as a series and this gets a little more support than some of the other things. Okay, so hopefully that was enough explanation on what you would consider to be the karmic body and the meta body. All right. Um, Lilith equals 3 a.m. said Lilith equals darkness equals Micha equals inorganic. Wow, feisty. Very, very interesting connections, 3 a.m. You discover some very interesting things between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m., specifically because of the abundance of melatonin in one's body during that time, plus the increased level of darkness of that time. It's the darkest time frame of one's night. But yeah, you discover a lot of interesting things at 3 a.m. We're going to get into this next concept. So, your mental body is a very, 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 very. She's still dropping more bodies. She's still dropping more bodies. Next body, which said, all right, just for y'all who watch this later on, her name is Witches, Witchinin, Witchinin is me. Witch Ion. It's like Witches Ion is me. Interesting name. All right. The next one she said was dream body. Your dream body falls under your astral body. All right, so you can start putting some of these pieces together if you write it down. You should. You should. In essence, all three of these bodies are kind of broken up into subsystems. You have a tenth body, by the way. You do have a tenth body, by the way, and your tenth body is what would be considered the multi-universal body. Okay, so once you awaken to what would be a universal body, you then realize you're not the only universe in the game. You then start realizing, wow, there are other universes. And if we exchange energy, universe amongst universe, this is how we become multiverse. But a universe must connect to another universe. And this is a a beautiful thing. All worlds are bodies, all bodies in essence are universes. So when you even have procreation, this is one universe on top of another universe, and there is a collision, there is a union, there is a, as the word mentioned below, a quantum entanglement. And once you have a quantum entanglement, 1 plus 1 equals 3, you actually emerge a nuance. You create something brand new. So they often say there's nothing new under a sun. It's because the son cannot produce a child, but a man can. This is why they want to keep so many boys claiming to be men, boys to men, but they're just lost boys for the most part, playing around with their swords, sword fighting. So anyway, when a universe connects to another universe, something new emerges. So this is what multiverse understanding is. Some say, how does anything ever become new? How does anything new ever emerge? Or new nuances or a new infusion, a new alchemical reaction can happen through the union of equals. Man and woman aren't equal. The evil eye is a tool of the subconscious. Okay? The first thing we're going to talk about is what we categorize as the mental body. The mental body is broken up into four directions. Start learning the directions of one's cells or selves. It's easy to kind of understand most of these things are broken down into four systems. It's just important for you to be able to categorize them, identify them. So, the mental body. The mental body has to express itself. Every single body needs a tool of expression. So, if you were to write this out, you would put mental body, line, then you would say tools of expression, little dot. And next to that dot, you would put consciousness. Consciousness. And then another little dot. Now, I hope y'all understand why I do this sometimes on this channel. We do not use our imagination enough. And if you don't practice using your imagination, you're going to have a very boring afterlife, a very mundane life after death. And there are people who go 50, 60, 70 years improperly using their imagination, improperly using one's imagination, only using your imagination to project the worry and the fears amongst oneself. Oh my God, he's going to get cut off. What if this happens? Wrongful ways of using one's imagination. But with this, you got to see this in your mind. With this, it wakes up something, and this is doing something to your brain that many other channels aren't doing. Now, I'm taking an L doing this. I'm not following the directions that YouTube says to follow to be able to capitalize on this channel. I'm going against the grain. So hopefully you support this. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So you have conscious. Under it, you have subconscious. Under that, you have the unconscious. And directly under that, you have the all conscious. Okay? So, for example, could the universal body become all conscious through the mental body? Yes. Yes. Do these bodies connect to the chakra system within us? Yes. Yes. But you mentioned 9 bodies. We only have 7 chakras. You only have 7 internal chakras. A chakra is a sphere of influence. So you actually have 2 other spheres of influence that affect your world. One is known as the moon, the other is known as the sun. So those are actually chakras as well. They're just external chakras. And these external chakras have a whole lot of influence over you. So, in essence, are you saying that the cosmic, don't you call it the cosmic waters? The cosmic body could be connected to the moon? Oh, yeah, I am. And are you saying the universal body could be connected to the sun? Oh, yeah, I am. And are you saying that the mental body could be connected to our crown chakra? Yeah, I am. You start seeing these connections. I'm not saying these things randomly for no reason, but there's also an important, let's say, detective work that is important for a soul. We can't just do it all for you. There has to be a detective work. I can throw out many different ideas and not always put them in order purposely so that you can do the righteous thing of taking the time and putting some of these things together. You could do the thing the earnest way. You're earning these keys, these remembrances. It's important. It's important. Get it out the mud versus someone digging the hole for you. Work pays off. Correct. 3 a.m. All right. So, mental body is broken up into 4 systems: conscious, subconscious, unconscious, and all conscious. Now we're going to go to the next part. This part is conscious. We're going to talk about what are the tools of the conscious. If the conscious, subconscious, unconscious, and all conscious is the tools of the mental body, then what are the tools of the conscious body? Any of y'all know? What would you think? What would you think? What would you categorize as a tool or the tools of the subconscious? Thank you, Alexis, for the give and receive, family. And Irma, thank you so much for the give and receive. Thank you for staying balanced in the life. Sunflower said the tools of the conscious is the gut. Why not? Said the tools of the subconscious is memory. Sunflower said the tools of the subconscious is the heart. I mean, conscious. Yeah, the tools of the conscious, not subconscious. Tools of the conscious is the heart. Midnight Mystic said tarot cards or tarot, the tarot decks are tools of the conscious. It's actually a tool of the subconscious. When people go to get readings, tarot readings, psychic readings, they're reading one's subconscious. They're reading things that they're not even conscious about. You know, oh, your husband's cheating on you with Becky, with the good hair. You'll tell yourself you wasn't conscious about that, but your subconscious, picked it up. Saw when he snuck around the corner when your back was turned. All these things your subconscious does. It picks up so many subtleties, and someone sensitive enough can pick up, these subtleties in one's subconscious. So are the tarot cards. Um, all right. Witch said, the pineal gland is a tool of the conscious. Sylvia said the tool of the conscious is the brain. I like where y'all going. I like where y'all going, but let's rewind a second and remember what I said a second earlier. Each body connects to the chakras. Okay? This is very important to get your answers. These are puzzle pieces, y'all. It's not always going to be the most obvious. And I love y'all that you're willing to stretch, willing to reach like the trees. Be like trees, reach. I love it. The tools of the conscious, subconscious, unconscious, and all conscious has to connect to the crown chakra. And we've explained that the crown chakra is connected to your hair and your skin. All right? Now, on one's skin, you have receptors. And these receptors give you a sense of what? Starts with T. Come on. Y'all got this. Y'all got this. Your skin has receptors on it, and these receptors give you a sense of, and it starts with T. It's not time. Ooh, Ashley 2 for 2. Ashley 2 for 2. She was first though. No disrespect. I saw her first, but yes, Blue Horizons in the building. This ain't no competition. I work with Ashley. I work with Ashley. So I'm happy to understand the work is there. The work is there. Now, Sunflower, I work with Sunflower as well, but Sunflower be doing 15 million things while these lives be going. And I understand. No worries. Sometimes she ain't right near her phone to type. But yes, yes. Touch, doom, 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 touch, doom, 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 touch. Okay? Straight Amarion. All right? Touch. Sense of touch. But hold on. There isn't just one sense, correct? There are four more senses. Come on, let's list them. You know how I fuck with you, Sunflower. All right, let's list them. Five senses. The first sense is sense of touch. What's the next sense? So now we're saying, oh, the conscious body, the tool of the conscious body or sub body is the sense of touch, the sense of taste, the sense of smell, the sense of sound. All right, come on. Touch, taste, sound, smell, and L.O. Shun with the clutch. Sight. All right? Touch, taste, smell, sound, sight. Touch, taste, smell, sound, sight. Touch, taste, smell, sound, sight. These are the tools you use to be conscious. All right. Now hold on. I saw your comment, uh, Miss Lewis. I just wanted to get that done. I'm not ignoring. I love you. I got you. All right. Ta, and I like Ta. Ta's giving me almost like Tia, meaning goddess. Ta said, "Hey Q, could a disabled person be conscious or unconscious? Just very curious as your take would be." All right. I then would ask you, what type of disabilities? There are a range of disabilities in today's climate. Even cognitive dissonance is a disability. Ignorance is a disability. Lack of originality is a disability. Addiction to porn is a disability. Obesity is a disability. So, if you don't mind, just getting a little more specific, such a generalized question. You know, I'm a melanated person. Sometimes my skin tone could be a disability. I've had several guns pulled on me by a police officer. I've been beat by police officers just because of the complexion. All right, autism. I understand transparency is a little difficult. It's a range of autism, but autistic individuals sometimes have reduced senses, and it's sometimes because they are more multiverse than science has been able to catch up to. So these are like bodies that are like stuck almost like a bridge between an inorganic world and an organic world, a bridge between the dead and the living. Like they become a bridge to many different systems, and they're a much needed bridge. They are like the bees of our planet. You know, they pollinate, they stimulate things that normal people don't ever focus or acknowledge or care to, you know, remember. Keep in mind, this is extremely important. Remembrance. You have lost several bodies. You have had many different incarnations here and have lost several bodies. But you have left breadcrumbs, clues in so many different systems. And in these systems, you are applying remembrance if you're not distracted. But boy, do they want to keep you distracted. Boy, do they want to keep you distracted. All right? And how would they distract you? Through your senses. Oh, because what are they distracting? Your mental body. Now, are the other bodies being distracted? Some of them are out they reach. How are they distracting the universe? CERN? Not quite. Not quite. We're going to use the word distraction. Get the attention of the universe. Hell yeah. They can use CERN to get the attention of the universe. And where there's attention, there's tension. And these people are angry at the universe. These people are mad because they feel abandoned by their ancestors, by God. It gets complex. Blue Horizon, thank you so much for the give and receive. Thank you for staying balanced in the life. And hopefully I said thank you to L.O. Shun. All right. All right. Looking like we're getting close to a series, y'all. Looking like we're getting close to a series. If y'all watching this later on, keep that in mind. I want to continue this. This is important information. But like I said, if I can't keep things, then what I'm supposed to do. All right. They are distracting your five senses. Okay? Because your five senses is how you express yourself. Your five senses. Wow, that look, Miss Lewis said, "Wow, that was an amazing breakdown. Gratitude, my pleasure, my pleasure. I'm so happy that it was received. Sometimes we go to individuals, and their reaction often is there's a problem. I want you to understand life is never one direction. You have people who wear white coats and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on education to let you down a lot, to give you 10 minutes. You're sitting in these white coats office 2, 3 hours sometimes, 6 hours, they give you 10 minutes. And then when you go to them, they often project the idea there's a problem. And I'm the only solution that I write down on this little pad. Ooh, ooh, the audacity. The audacity. Remember the saying, half empty or half full. Most of these individuals are too busy focusing on it already being half empty. Well, oh no, it's half full. It's okay. We're good. It's a concept. All right. Some people, oh, it's half empty. I need to rush to the gas station. It's half empty. Get it? First, the people, it's okay. We got half a tank. Let's ride out. We good. We're getting to that. People are waking up to that, but they don't quite understand autism. They don't understand the human brain. How can they understand autism? They don't even understand the human brain. You understand? So it's important to start thinking outside the box sometimes. You can still take that information, store it, value it, respect it. I'm not saying don't, but you could also respect you going what some would consider to be the metaphysical direction as well. Maybe they're doing something normal humans can't even bear. Can't even bear, let alone 50 years, 60 years. Some of them live a good amount of time. These are special people. We call them special people. Remember, there's hidden secrets in our language. These are special people. And I will always value and see them as so. They are bearing a weight, bearing a torch. They are doing a job. Most aren't. And we don't even have the capacity, the brain to process that. They do. Thank you. And if it's you or your son who may be dealing with that, or your daughter, or your father, or your mother, or your loved ones, please know that I'm giving thanks. Because they're doing something I can't even understand completely. All right. The conscious body uses its five senses. All right. So you see now y'all trying to get into the specifics. Okay. All right. Miss Phil said, I can't even pronounce this. I have tracheotilomania. Tracheotilomania. These doctors, boy, that make me feel special trying to say these words. Why can't I just why can't I get nervous and I pull my hair out? Trichotillomania. But why can't I get nervous, idle hands. It's a tick, it's a form of Tourette's. Why don't they just tell y'all that? You're pulling your hair out because it's a form of Tourette's. Once you start realizing how extensive the idea of Tourette's can be, it's an outburst. And the most simplistic idea, it's an outburst. And you can have so much frustrations and tensions and stresses in one's body. The body has to figure out how to let that out. Okay? So, when they say heavy is the crown, your crown is stressed. And it can't bear the weight of the information that it's receiving because it's already overloaded with its reality. I don't want to hear spirit. Spirit, be quiet. Spirit realm. Shh. Ah, ah, ah. But once you slow down, get better at breathing, get better at diaphragmic breathing, get better at stimulating your vagus nerve, get on some ashwagandha, hit a sauna, make sure you sweat. Sweat is important because sweat is the body expressing itself. If not, it's going to express itself in other ways, usually through sex. So most people are letting that tension that the body ends up gaining from everything, and it lets it out through masturbation or sexual acts. But most of it is, you know, and we got to get out of our root chakras. Q said it's a idea of keeping one's fingers busy, which is very, very true. Sometimes stress balls, fidget spinners, fidget devices, just things that you can kind of replace with that. I want you to also understand people who smoke vapes, this is the same thing as pulling one's hair out. Get it? It's just a different action to represent the same thing. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. All right. I want you to also understand that sense of touch is extremely vital in the physical realm. You came here to be touched. No diddy. Get your head out the gutter. You came here to be touched and to touch. You came here to physically engage because you won't always have a physical body, but yet there's still engagement, there's still existence. And it's even more stimulating with a physical body because the physical body has senses. Now, these senses get extensive, but I want to keep it in a way that is conceptualized. Okay? So you get a sense. Here you go. Get it? The words. hidden in these cultural phrases, you get a sense of your reality through your senses. Now, I said that you came here for touch. Unfortunately, okay, I think everything branches out of the one. Okay? So what you consider to be the conscious branches out. Unsub all. All right? What you consider to be touch, touch branches out smell, sight, taste, sound. All right? Something has to touch your eardrums. Something has to touch your eyes. Something has to touch your tongue. Get it? So it's all touch. But now we're going to go the next layer. So take touch out of it. All right? So you got four other senses. Of these four senses, which scent, which sense, sense, you see that? Sense. Ooh, those who understand the power of scent has the best sense. But that is not the most popular sense. Those who knows. Allergy season, anyone? Changing all the plants around us from feminine plants to feminine trees to masculine trees. 50 Cent. Can you sense something? All right, you're getting it. All right, you see these terms? They disrupt your senses, your knowledge, all right? So, of the four senses, what sense gets the most attention? Don't say touch. Of the four senses, what sense gets the most attention? Q said the eye. Miss Ocean said sight. L.O. Shun said sight. 3 a.m. said sight. Which said sight. Why not said sight? Get it? Alright? What sense gets the most attention? The sense of sight. Thus, why ancient cultures focused on eye references. Egypt, Eye of Ra. Greece, Eye of Providence. Norse mythology, Odin sacrifices his eye to a well of knowledge. Okay? So these are three separate cultures in three different climates, in three different worlds in a sense. You know, the Norse mythology is more north. Greek mythology, you get it, know your map. All right? So the ancient culture focused on eye references. So then I got to ask the question, why is it just one eye? I mean, they could have drawn a pyramid and two eyes. It could have been the eyes of providence. Why God only got one eye? Why Odin had to sacrifice his eye? Wouldn't you probably like sacrifice your nose? It's knowledge, right? Do you know who has sacrificed his nose? A Skeletor. Skeletor, you got to pay attention to these movies. If you need another reference, Marvel, it's the red dude, the all red dude, no nose. These are sacrifices of the nose. You know who else sacrificed the nose? Michael Jackson. I do want you to understand. Voldemort, there's another one, all right? These are earth based sacrifices. The eyes always talk about above. The eye is always connected to height. The eye is always talking about the heavens. So I'm going to ask you a question once again. All right, Elo Shun dropped a very, very, very good clue. Ogres sometimes have one eye. Now, I say sometimes because I want you to understand Shrek, one of the most popular ogre references in pop culture, often adorns himself with two eyes. So there's another reference we should use to describe what you're talking about. That's why I said a really good clue. All right. So I want to ask, come on, we got this. What's another reference? This is a really good clue. Ogres, but not quite. Not quite. All right. Come on. Why are they talking about eyes in ancient times? Talk about a eye, one eye, my bad. Why are they talking about one eye in ancient times? Come on, y'all. I know y'all got this. Pirates, that's an interesting connection, Miss Ocean. But we're talking older than pirates. Blue Horizon said all seeing eye. Please understand that these terms are reminders. They're not just blank phrases. They're reminders. Very important reminders. Okay? All right? Something was in an ancient person or ancient human's idea or mind, all seeing. All right. Thank you, Sunflower. Who said it? Who said it? Who said it? I didn't see it. Let me go back. It ain't show up on my end. I want to give him credit, whoever said it, because that's the answer. All right. Sunflower said, someone said Cyclops. I didn't see it, but that is the direct answer. A Cyclops. Now, what do you know about the Cyclops? Are they little people? You know, little guys? What you know about the Cyclops? They're big. Huh. They're like giants. Huh. And if something was a giant and I'm little, and we know that elevation allows you to have a bird's eye view, you kind of see everything. Then if these giants were tall, hell yeah, they're all seeing. It seems as if we can't hide anything from them. They see everything. Get it? All seeing. Eye. Connect to a race of giants. Well, hold on. The Bible talks about there's a race of giants known as the Nephilim who was teaching ancient mankind witchcraft, war. I mean, whoo, sheesh, all type of stuff. Do you know how that's possible? I can give you, a genetic reference to this. You're holding in your hand the beginning stages of a time machine. One eye started with one eye. This is three eyes, which is, yeah, I'm gonna help you understand what we're talking about. All right, but just because they're not physical giants per se. Earth had a period of giantism where everything was giant. Snakes was giant, giant rats, giant worms. You know, there was a period Earth had giantism. So of course there's going to be fossils and bones and stuff like that. Earth is an extremely long-lived area. But we're not talking about the atmosphere changed. Once the moon came here, things got smaller. Prior to the moon being here, things were larger. I want you to understand dehydration has a huge role into things getting smaller. You ever pay attention to a grape? Do you know what happens to a grape when it dries up? It gets smaller. It turns into a raisin. The moon affects water. The moon being here made things smaller. Prior to the moon, just like the indigenous people on this planet said, there was giantism on this planet. Now, these Anunnaki or space gods also brought a moon here, so you understand, okay? So when they rose, the moon rose. When they showed up, the moon showed up. All right? Now, these space gods are humans from the future. In my hand right now, I am holding a time machine. It is storing memories and information from the past. It is able to tell me information from the future. Hold on. You don't believe me? Hold on. Ready for this? What is this? This is a weather app that can tell me on Sunday it's going to be 77 degrees as a low and 93 degrees as a high. It can tell me on Monday it's going to be 76 degrees and 96 degrees. Now you're only getting to access this part of the future from this machine. Well, GPS is another aspect of the future. It can tell you what time you're going to get there before you get there. It can tell you how to get there before you get there. Okay? You you understand? They can limit, they can add. This is a time machine. Holds on to memories of the past, photos, videos, past doctor's appointments, past emails. This evolves. Boy, does it evolve. It evolves so much where it becomes a vessel, a ship that you live in. You're starting to live in it now, but eventually you will physically live in it. And it will feed off you, and you will feed off it, and you will live in this ship that is now moving through space as your body, in this vessel that is moving through space as is your body. And you will be able to use it to do what we call observe. You will be able to use this ship to travel into the past, a solid past, a a a past that affects you on an emotional level. The future has not affected you on an emotional level yet. Not yet. It can. It will. It wants to. But I want you to understand the past still this if we exist 10,000 years from us, know that right now still affects you. You were able to even exist because of us. So I just want you to understand your past affects you. All right? So it has an emotional attachment. So you in the future, or you in your next incarnation, or you in the future are going to use this phone booth, this ship, this vessel to travel into the past. You're not really going to care to travel into the future because at this point, this looks damn near as most advanced as you can get. So you almost realize in this future, 1,000 years ain't much change. We've developed everything, you know. There's not much change in our future. Our future is kind of boring. So they don't go to the future in the future. They go to the past, back to the future, not towards the future. I hope you understand that. They could have called it towards the future. They didn't call the movie towards the future. They called it back to the future, signifying they went into the past. That's past reality, meaning they multiverse traveled. But let me not get into the quantum mechanics of Back to the Future. I just want you to understand that the Bible is talking about future humans. So anyway, future humans develop a ship that each one will have, and this ship attaches to a mothership, so a larger ship. Sometimes it branches off, it attached to a hive in a sense. Sometimes it branches off, and sometimes it brings this information back to the hive. You know, the hive wants to know about 1955, as intricate in every detail as possible. And the hive of the year 3050 wants to know every facet of 1955. So it wants to possess every single soul or get access to every single soul that existed in 1955. So it's going to create a technology that allows humans from the future to travel into the past so that it can give this information where AI didn't exist yet. I hope y'all staying with me. This is a rabbit hole. This is a rabbit hole. I'm just trying to give this to those who are dialed in enough to pay attention. So they travel into the past. You've observed some of these individuals now. You kind of see it as like shadows because they get out of the ship. You walk away from your phone. You do understand that, right? The phone doesn't stay with you 24/7. The ship doesn't stay with you 24/7. You get out of the pod. You get out of the ship at times. And you have a technology, an Apple Watch, they live, an Apple Watch that can kind of cloak you. But psychic people can sense their environment, and psychic people who are open enough can sense things beyond their time and their hidden space. So these individuals were supposed to become observers. But just like how for the last 10,000 years we have been procreating, there's still going to be a yearning for procreation in the future. Now, I want you to understand that there's a group of PDF files of Epstein's, of Diddy's, of just these interesting people. I won't say Diddy. Let's go more to like the Epstein's that like younger women. And their obsession with these younger women is not necessarily their age, it's their purity. As women get older, they do things to affect their body. Sometimes they go through surgeries, sometimes they have children, sometimes they become obese, sometimes they become anemic or and that's kind of ones that they've idolized as well, the anemic looking ones at a time. But my point is, it is the lack of change to these individuals. Well, I want you to understand that if you travel far enough into the future of the timeline I'm speaking on, you're going to deal with what we would consider to be Puritans, and you're going to deal with cyborgs. Your Puritans are going to, I don't want to tell you too much about this timeline. What I'll say is that the women of the future are not attractive, not as attractive as the women of the past. And some of y'all can say that is in existence in our reality right now. That women of our modern day times right now are nowhere near attractive as the women, when we were teenagers, when we were growing up, men. You may say the same thing for men, for the ladies. Men are not men. Men are metro, men are blah 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 blah, so I get it. Because I do want you to understand that when they're talking about angels finding daughters of men and the biblical references to this, you would think it was only men sleeping with um, humans or angels or male angels only sleeping with humans. No, no, no. These are space beings. These are future humans, masculine and feminine, both sleeping with the past. Just slow down and think about that. This is the future. Sleeping with the past. This is a future that did not discover fire. And you are bringing them on your ship, hypnotizing them, and creating an altar within them so that they are, let's say, are ye not gods? More like you. Because it just, I studied about this thing, conversation. And I want to feel what it's like to have conversation. I don't want to just observe conversation. I'm tired of going into the past and observing people having conversations. I want to have a conversation. And in our future, we don't talk to each other no more. And if we do, it's through a chip. If we do, it's mind to mind. And that's cool, but it's so like monotone. I am going to the mall. I am going to my brother's house, Kamal. I am going. It is so boring. It is so robotic. The telepathic communication has no form of expression. It is just a mundane form of expression. But the way they talk in the past, they use their hands, bitch, this motherfucker, that. It's whoa. I want to live like that. So you get out your bubble, you abduct one of these early humans to your ship, you MK Ultra them so that they now have a decent personality and something worth connecting to. You then procreate with them. You then men in black them and send them back to their village. And you thought you couldn't impregnate them because in your timeline, y'all are sterile. Y'all not really sterile. You're just not really excited. Whoa. Damn, Q. In their timeline, all their white coats say, oh, yeah, no, y'all can't have kids. And that just became a norm to y'all. The wombs is closed off. Your balls is shriveled up like raisins. You're bored. You go into the past, your balls is moving around again. You're getting excited again. And oh, shit. I done impregnated an early stage human when the rules was we just supposed to observe. Well, I'm not about to say nothing. Not me. I'm not about to get my space privileges revoked. I'm not about to get my driver's license revoked. Do you get it? Why would I tell the government what I'm doing if they go to take my license away? So they kept it secret. The space agency didn't even know this was happening. Because it wasn't just one of them who did it. A lot of them did it. And they all thought the same way. I'm just going to keep it secret. I ain't even going to tell nobody I did it. So now they all going back to their village. Okay? And they're popping out children that have their third eye open. All right? I'll give you an idea. I lived in a past life where I lived in a village where they were suffering drought. And every scientist, every baba, every witch doctor, everyone that you could imagine tried to figure out this drought situation. And no one could. My mother, who was one of these abducted women, gave birth to me. Now, they already rejected her because who is the father? Mary Magdalene, you know, Mary the mother. Start seeing some of these connections in these stories. Who's the mother? Now, my mother was royalty. So it wasn't like she was rejected from the village. And it was often the royal ones that got abducted. Now, do you want me to tell you why the royal ones were the ones? Why do you think the royalty, those that were considered royal, regal, special, in before space gods came here, all right, there was a group of people on this planet that were considered royal. Now, these individuals were royal, good point, because of their blood. Their blood specifically associated to what they refer to as the dragon's blood, all right? Because there was a time Tiamat, before these space gods came here, there was a war here. All right, all right? So your dragon blood courses through certain people on this planet. And that dragon blood gave them, let's just say, a level of intuitiveness or psychic abilities that was top tier. Oracles. Men kind of tapped into this bloodline, but it was specifically expressed through the women. So these women were often clean. Easiest way to put it. They were clean. Most of the women were dirty. These men from the future were not dirty. So they found favoritism in the royals. So my mother was abducted, sent back to the village. She don't know. I don't know who impregnated me. I don't even know. I don't know. I was in my bed. I have these dreams, but I don't know. I'm born. I watch my mom be ridiculed and often have to go over and beyond to get the approval of her peers. I hated it. So I thought if I solved the drought issue, if I'm the one who can come up with the drought issue, I can help. Here's the best way I could explain it. When you have space god blood or Anunnaki blood mixed with the dragon blood, you have the possibility to access the future through your psychic will. So, what I remember doing in a young age was doing what some would consider meditation. I would go into a space, and what it would almost seem like was I was able to access all that the Anunnaki accessed, all that the space gods accessed. And in that, there's Egypt, there's Greece, there's Rome, there's America, there's tons of stuff that I was able to see. But I'll tell you exactly what I was able to bring back to my village. Irrigation. How to be able to tap into a fresh body of water, let's say 10 miles from the village, to dig a pipeline so that that water can come into the village. That then spread into the flowers, and that then was it saved the village. It wasn't anything special. My father's from the future. My father has genetic imprints, information from a lot of years, information that I'm not even able to process because I don't know what a phone is. I don't know what a spaceship is. I don't know what quantum mechanics is. I get it. So there are even visions that I can see, but I don't understand. So I won't even choose to see them. I gotta go into worlds, go into futures, go into timelines that are close enough to be within my understanding of that time. This is happening to us now, by the way. Just know that. This is happening right now, by the way. Some of you have this same bloodline. All right. So, y'all still with me? Y'all want me to stop? I can stop. I can stop. Y'all got quiet. I think y'all listening, but then again, like, what y'all expect? I'm sitting here thinking y'all ain't even just. All right. Let's make it sure. So these individuals, these Nephilim, okay, were children that were half dragon, half future. In that, you can use your psychic abilities to be able to see into the future. In this timeline, I did so. Do you think I was praised and honored for saving the village? No. I was deemed evil. This was witchcraft. This was voodoo. This was the devil. Because we've asked our gods for a solution, but the gods can't intervene. So they're not going to tell you, dig a hole. And that's like my response. And that's blasphemy. What do you mean the gods don't intervene? I'm part God. I'm telling that ain't it. That ain't even what it means. Shunned, pushed out, rejected. And did my mother have my back? No. You gotta go. I want you to understand that they sometimes categorize these beings as possessing an evil eye because they can see a reality we cannot see. Today's title, The Evil Eye, is a tool of the subconscious. So your evil eye, evil backwards is live, the eye that you really live by, the eye that you really live by, doesn't care about your senses. This evil eye ain't really focusing on your senses per se. That's a conscious thing. The evil eye is focusing on the other four directions, subsystems. The subconscious, 4 points. Remember, mental body, conscious, subconscious, unconscious, all conscious. And then there's tools. The tools of each one, the tools of the conscious is the five senses. The tools of the subconscious, all right, is what we refer to as the organs or chakras. All right, easy. Tools of the conscious, five senses. Tools of the subconscious, chakras. Tools of the conscious, five senses. Tools of the subconscious, chakras. Now, when they're talking about the sixth sense, they're talking about the evil eye. This is a subconscious thing. Everyone is not conscious of it. It is below reality. Everyone don't see the dead. I see dead people. It's a subconscious thing. The sixth sense is the evil eye. So another way of categorizing this title, this live, the sixth sense is the tool of the subconscious. We don't want to walk around and saying, well, I'm using my evil eye. No, it doesn't sit right with you sometimes, nor your peers. And you will be judged for the words you use. So we will say, I'm using my sixth sense, my third eye, my sixth sense. And I'm using this sixth sense as a tool for my subconscious. And this sixth sense can work with my crown, your skin. You ever had goosebumps? That's a sixth sense. Now, I'm going to get into that. This is a long conversation. But I want you to understand the tools of your subconscious is your organs or your chakras. And your chakras or your organs have a sixth sense or an eye attached to them. Now, how are your chakras or organs being distracted or manipulated? Thank you so much, Leah, for the give and receive. Thank you for staying balanced in the life. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The subconscious uses symbolism, imagination, dreams, and sound, picture, expression. You call that music, film, and literature or books. So, how is your subconscious being distracted? How is your subconscious being influenced? Through symbolism, through imagination, through dreams, through music, through film, through books. You got any questions about that? I got you, L.O. Shun. Q, give Naya our love. I got you. I got you. All right, no questions. It's been a long live. How long have been up here? Almost 2 hours? It's crazy work. Crazy work. What do I clip this? How do I clip stuff like this? How do you make these into clippable, small little segments? How do I even understand this? The eye becomes evil once it's not lived. Evil backwards is live. Thy eye becomes evil once it's not lived or expressed. If you do not express one's third eye, it becomes possessed. And a possessed third eye is someone who possesses the symbology of you, possesses your imagination, possesses your dreams, possesses what you say, what you choose to watch, what you choose to read, what you choose to listen to. Possession of one's third eye. The next part is what we consider the unconscious. And the tool of the unconscious is people. People are the tools of the unconscious. Aren't you born as a person? Yeah, I am. And aren't you born in unawareness or unconsciousness? Looking at your fingers, twiggling your toes? Yeah. Because the unconscious uses people. And through people, you become conscious. And through people, not only do you become conscious, your conscious branches off into subconscious. So through people, you become conscious and subconscious. Wow, beautiful. You then have the all conscious. And the all conscious uses what modern day science refers to as quantum entanglement, quantum mechanics, quantum physics. The all conscious uses the quantum realm because they understand that the quantum realm is an infusion. So, an example of a quantum infusion is hidden in the number 12. 12 months, 12 hours in a day, 7 chakras, 5 senses, 12. 12 always symbolizes motion or movement. You are in motion or movement through your 7 chakras and 5 senses. Hopefully, you will go back to an older nature, which is where we operated from a lunar cycle, and there were 13, 13 months, 13 zodiac signs, not just 12. 13, ooh. And this is when you awaken your 7 chakras with what we would consider to be your 6 senses, because in essence, your chakras become your 6th sense. You are sensitive enough to sense when something's trying to hypnotize you, lie to you, play with your heart, play with your food. Get it? You become so in tuned internally and externally. You become, the infamous 13. So we're going to leave it there. I've been up here. I'm a little tired. I'm a little exhausted. Thank you so much for the give and receive, family. All love. Thank you, family. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I definitely try to make it worth being able to be up here during this time. You know, there are a lot of other things that do pull me um from my time now. And I really want to make it where it all makes sense. I know this stuff. So it's not a egotistical or anything like that. It's not what I'm saying. I am saying it's hard times for everybody. So if you could just muster your dollar, I go up here with twice a week, $2 a week. It would really help. You know, I get thousands of views and over 100 something likes, 200, 300 likes on each video. That was $1 each like. We would never even have to have these conversations. So all I'm saying, if you can, please be balanced in the life. All right? Greatly appreciate you. L.O. Shun, Witch, The Price is Right, Lori, um, uh, Q, Lotus, all right, Sabi, Carl. Who else been here this whole time? Dia, Blue Horizon, Sunflower. Trying to see if I missed anybody else. LA. I think Dee Dee been in here. Dee Dee. Yeah. Why not? Yeah, I appreciate y'all. All right. Till next time. Mrs. Oceans. Till next time.